Voila. Well, I mean, to celebrate those that are on time, since we have a very dense agenda, I wanted to welcome all of you to this webinar, the third webinar of the Cultural Philanthropy and Action series organized by the Arts and Culture Funders Forum of Philea. And today we are going to look into remote engagements, arts and culture for youth and community. So what you can expect from this webinar is that we're going to have, first of all, a presentation of the Local program, and this will be done by the people and the organizations that have been directly involved. That gives you a bit of an outlook on what you can expect in the future because it was recently launched. And after that, I would invite you to keep the phones on your side because we will have a bit of a Mentimeter moment where we will test and kind of share our understanding of remote areas and youth engagement. And after that, we will actually hear firsthand experiences from two foundations that have been working in remote areas around the Radis project and Concomitentes. It will be very kind of brief and spot on presentations because after that, we will then go into the breakout rooms and you have the time to choose which breakout room you want to go to. And you will be joining these breakout rooms with additional people that will join that are directly involved in the implementation of these two programs, with whom you will be able to discuss. We will have hopefully 40 minutes for that before going back in and then receiving an outlook on what you can expect from this great network of Philea. So without further ado, I wanted to hand over to Andrew Wilkins, who is the director of the European Cultural Foundation and also the chair of the Arts and Culture Funders Forum. So over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Ilaria, and also welcome on my behalf. As Ilaria said, I'm currently the co-chair of the Arts and Culture Funders Forum. And I'm very happy to see so many of you. I don't see them actually, but I hear there are many of you out there. For those of you who are new, and some of them are new, but also for those who may need some reminding about the Arts and Culture Funders Forum. The forum is actually a group, a subgroup in a way of philea of funders working in the fields of art and culture. We are meeting regularly, mostly online, but occasionally also in person, usually at the Philea Forum, so in 2 weeks or so, again in Lisbon, but also in other places as it works out. What we do, we share insights, we share experiences, we sometimes worry about the challenges ahead. We are trying to share also opportunities and solutions, and occasionally some of us come together on specific action related, for example, to the Culture of Solidarity Fund or the Alliance of Socially Engaged Art. Many of you are part of it. But I want to draw also the attention that every 4 years we're doing a mapping of culture and arts funders. And it is a very interesting and good document. If you haven't looked at it, volume 2 is out on the website of Philea. And it shows that arts and culture funders actually make up for quite a big part of the philanthropic ecosystem in Europe. It might not be so obvious to many of us because often we are a niche in our countries. But according to this data, we are making up 23% of the total spending in European foundations with around 477 million per year. And that's data from 2023. So we are not only an important group, but we are also quite a sizable group within Philea, but also within Europe. This, as Ilaria said, we have decided at the beginning of the year, or actually last year, after having done a process at the Philea Forum, where we talked what would be the key topics we want to discuss. And we came up that it would be good to do a series of webinars on specific issues. And this is the third now. just leading up to the Philea Forum. And we have looked at issues of polarization and inclusion, shrinking civic spaces, the true value of culture, also measurement and evaluation, and now urban and rural divide. So I think we had a lot of attention and interest in the discussion, very good discussion. And I expect the same here. We have a full program, so no more words for me. Ilaria, is it okay that I hand over the word directly to our first speaker? Someone who is in a way new to this group, I would say. But it's great to have here the German Federal Cultural Foundation, Bundeskulturstiftung, and the director, Katarzyna Wielga-Skolimowska, to talk about a very exciting initiative initiated in Germany, but with the ambition to bring in other actors all across Europe. And Katarzyna will talk about it. It's called Lokal, and I think you are much better prepared and into the subject than me, then to kick it off and tell us a little bit about this initiative. Katarzyna, over to you.
Thank you very much, Andre. I'm prepared, but you are actually as well prepared to talk about Lokal as I am, because we cooperate on this program. Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you, Andre, that you thought about us and you invited us to present Lokal in this very big round, and I'm really happy to see everyone. And I'm glad that we can present you briefly what we were working on for the last 2 years, and that the program that we launched just lately. I think maybe just as a frame for you, the German Federal Culture Foundation is one of the biggest funding foundations in Europe. We are state funded. We get money from the German government, but we are established on the basis of the private law. So we are one of these strange animals in the German system that you probably know from other contexts that are dependent on the public funding, and state funding, on the other hand, are in terms of legal framework a kind of a mixed agent. So we are not state, but we are funded by the state. And today, I think it's for us, it's very important. Our in the heart of the status of our foundation is international cooperation, and Europe is a very big focus for the foundations. That since the beginning, 2002, we were funded, and I'm very glad that I can present you today, say a few words about the newest baby in our portfolio, and this is a Lokal, and it's called a Lokal program for culture and engagement. And this is a program that is as I said at the beginning, as a cooperation program. We work together with the Federal Agency of Civic Education. We have Claudia here today from the BPB, our long-term friends and colleagues, and the ECF. And I will tell you just in a minute why do we do it together. I mentioned we worked already on this program for 2 years, and this is our way of working. With first research, we we talk to very different partners. We talk to culture institutions, and we try to establish the needs and see what is our role in the whole ecosystem of funding. And here with Lokal, we have very quite, I mean, simple. You have them even in your paper preparing for this webinar. We have actually two conclusions after the research. The culture actors in Europe are under pressure, and it's a different pressure in different country, but mostly it's a mix of a political and financial pressure. And we research especially the actors in the outside of the big cities, and we see that they are actually very alone as culture actors outside of the big cities or in rural areas. They are sometimes the only actors that care of culture formats, and that try to get a kind of a social togetherness, the feeling of social togetherness in the rural areas. That's why when we developed the program, we started with two focus topics. We fund in Germany. This is a very important information for you. And we decided to fund culture actors in the cities and communities under 100,000 inhabitants. And we wanted to address with this program small associations, libraries, small museums, theaters, youth clubs that that work in the specific place. So they are not coming from big cities and work there. They are based there, and they have a regular culture offer. So it's not like we do culture from time to time, maybe once a year, but we wanted to have proper culture actors. And the question, I already started to answer the question, why under 100,000? They are usually not so much in the focus of the funding, of culture funding. This is one thing. The other, they have sometimes less solidarity from the environment that they work in. And I mean, not only political pressure, but they are not. They don't have networks that are really broad, and they have much less resources than the other. Than the organizations in big cities, and actually the work that they are doing on the ground is a very, very important work, and it needs a lot of courage. And this courage, we thought we need to support and make them stronger. So we were not addressing new initiatives. We want to address initiatives that are already there for at least 3 years, and make stronger the people that are doing that are really engaging in these initiatives. The second thing that is in the focus of the program is that we encourage them to partner with non-cultural organizations on the ground. It can be a local business. It can be maybe a gardening organization, a church, or a fire department, local one. I don't know how it is in your countries, but in Germany, it's it's one of the social networks in small places. That's the fire department, or maybe a swimming pool, a local swimming pool. So this is we make it very broad. It should not be a culture, but a non-culture partner. And they should develop together artistic projects. And we hope participative and artistic projects. And we hope that in the end of the collaboration, there will be a kind of like social togetherness, social cohesion in a way, and that is being a byproduct of this work together on an artistic project.
Katarzyna, just to tell you, there's just 1 minute left. Apologies to interrupt.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is a quite important thing from our perspective is that we fund over 4 years. So this is we fund them over 4 years. They are we know that the networking needs time, so that's why we decided to fund in this period of time. And we have a very excessive program of academies and support, and knowledge support, and in these 4 years of the funding. And we fund, and this is where ECF is coming in, we fund European exchange. I think this is one of the things that I don't have to really tell you how important it is to learn from each other on the European level, because the levels of this pressure that people are experiencing in the rural areas is different in different countries. It's a different stage in different countries, and this is where we want to as well support the partners to learn from each other. So to finish, we would really be happy that to work together with some other European partners in this program, and we would like to invite you in November to the first exchange meeting that we are going to have in Poland. And Frauke Wetzel, who is running the program, and she's here from our side of the German Federal Cultural Foundation, and Philip from the ECF, they will tell you more about this meeting. Thank you very much for your attention, and you're in the best hands of Frauke and Philip to learn more about the program, the local program.
Thank you so much, and thank you for referring actually to the feeling of loneliness. I think this is something for those of us who have experience in living in rural and remote areas. We know how hard it is to kind of come together and to convince people also to participate. At Philea, we have developed a brief on democracy, which actually links the unheard emotions of isolation and loneliness directly with a feeling of dissatisfaction that leads then to polarization at the political level. So really thank you for that. We wanted to have a bit of a kind of icebreaking moment using Mentimeter. So if I can please ask you to pick up your phones. There are 2 kind of exercises. One is around gathering your ideas on specific topics, and then there's a little test. And so I'm handing over to Ludovica, my colleague.
Yes, here I am. I'm trying to share my screen. I'm also sending the link in the chat if anyone prefers, instead of using the QR code. I'm sorry, because...
So this is where you can connect to Mentimeter, www.menti.com. And there's also a code that you can put in.
Yes, I think we should be there. Let's see.
Super, yes.
Tell me if you see my screen. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Do you see the presentation in the presentation? Okay.
Yes, perfect.
Okay, so you can either use the QR code or the link, or also just go to the Mentimeter website and enter the code. I will wait just, I would say, some second. And we're starting with just a part of gathering some perspectives, because we think that many different topics intersect inside of this webinar. So it's very interesting to know your perspective on them before our members just show you theirs. So the first one is about youth. So you should be able to enter the first word that comes to your mind when you read the word youth. Just okay. Okay. The bigger the word, probably most people are entering that word. This is very interesting. Thank you. Okay. I'm going through the next slide. Sorry to stop you. We just have a very, very short time. This was very, very interesting. Now we have another word cloud that refers to the second, I would say, critical word inside of this webinar, which is, if it goes, yes, which is the first word that comes to your mind when you read engagement. So what do you think engagement is about? Okay. Thank you for your participation. Lots of people are actually participating. I'm happy about it. And then we have the last word, which we are focusing on, which is a very tricky word, I think. That is, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you read the words rural and remote areas? So what are rural and remote areas for you? Mm. Those are very good answers, huh? Can I say it? Okay. Then we go through a very, very quick quiz phase. I will take notes on lots of them. That is mostly about youth and remote areas. So how many people do you think that reside in rural areas in the whole world between these three options? Okay. Interesting, it's debated. The actual answer is 53%. So we have a winner. Then we go a little bit deeper. So how many people do you think that reside in rural areas in Europe? Okay, you were very prepared about this because it's actually 30%. And now we have a very linked question. So how much of the European territory you think it's considered rural area? Okay. Well, you came very prepared because it's actually 80%. So there's a big disparity between the territory and the quantity of people that are actually living there. Then I have the last two questions about the youth. So what do you think the European rural youth perceive as the biggest challenges for them in the last years? So you have three answers for each answer. So unemployment, isolation, and non-participation, unemployment, digital exclusion, and healthcare, social exclusion, healthcare, and digital exclusion. Okay. You get it right, because it's actually unemployment, isolation, and non-participation. And the second and the third, I think it's very interesting for our webinar. And then we go to the last one, because we're going to ask you to rank from the first to the fourth the catalyst for young people in rural areas. So the spaces that young people feel like they're offering the best energy for community engagement. This was a very big poll that was made, a big study. So you can choose from the first, second, third, and fourth. Okay, I'm gonna wait just 10 seconds and then we're done. So we're gonna leave the floor to our members. But this is the actual results. So this is precisely the ranking. Congratulations, you came here very prepared. For me, it was really interesting to read this data. So I will now leave the floor to our members, but thank you for participating. This was very interesting for me. I love the word cloud, so thank you.
Thank you, Ludovica. So Ludovica is also a very young person who comes from a remote area in southern Italy. And thank you for that. I think next time you have to make a bit more difficult the questions. So I'm doing a very bad job in keeping time. We are 10 minutes late, of course, but I'm very, very happy to pass over to Luigi Cerutti, who is the Secretary General of Fondazione per l'Arte Moderna e Contemporanea of the CRT Foundation. So he will be presenting the Radis project. Over to you, Luigi.
Thank you very much. So hello, everybody. I'm super happy to be here with you. Just to give you a little bit of background of who we are before starting to go through the Radis project, which is the target of my quick speech today. We are as Fondazione per l'Arte Moderna e Contemporanea CRT. We've been founded 25 years ago by Fondazione CRT, who is between the third and second largest private bank foundation in Italy, that has been founded itself between 92 and 93 after government law. As Fondazione per l'Arte Moderna, we are fully focused, as our name says, on investing and promoting in art. So we have two main, let me say, targets or guidelines. The first one is the acquisition of contemporary and modern artworks that are permanently on loan to the two main museums of our region, which is Piedmont. Piedmont is a keyword that you're gonna listen to much often in my speech. So we buy works. We've been buying works for 25 years. We do have now a collection of around 1,000 artworks. And we invested more than 40 million in this collection. The second target that we do have is investing, promoting, supporting projects around, of course, art. So, and coming to this point, we now approach the Radis project. I've been appointed as Secretary General in July 2023, and with a brand new board of directors. And from the first moment, we decided to develop and start up a project around art in public spaces. So when we shaped Radis, the first thing we thought about was to find also a local partner, because Radis is mainly focused on local areas, rural areas, as you see in a few minutes. And on our path, we find a valuable partner, which is again one of the biggest bank foundation operating in Piedmont and in Italy, which is the Fondazione Cassa di Risparmio di Cuneo, especially operating in the province of Cuneo. You have to know that Piedmont is the region of the city of Torino, another important information for us today, and is extending between France, on top Valle d'Aosta, Lombardy, the region of Milano, and near the sea of Mediterranean Sea, bordering with the region of Liguria. So what is Radis? Hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, if you put it in presentation mode,
yeah,
that would be
you're
perfect.
right.
This is beautiful. Okay.
Okay.
Not press presentation mode. I stopped you. Yeah, just below. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful.
Yes, thanks.
So I would say that the pillar of the Radis is the statement that you have in front right now. Who is Nuto Revelli? Nuto Revelli was actually an Italian author, journalist, let me say intellectual, but first of all, he served for the Italian army during the Second World War. This for him, dramatic experience for him was, of course, hit his life largely. And when he came back from the Second World War, he decided to spend most of his times traveling, I would say walking around the Piedmont region to interview people, trying to understanding what was, after the war, the behavior and the life of people in rural areas of Piedmont. At that time, Italy was changing a lot, as Europe, I would say, because after the crisis hitting the country between 46 to 52, which was a crisis deriving, of course, of the war, between the 50s and the 60s, we went through what we call the economic boom, so the economic miracle of the country. The main cities started to grow, started to develop new factories, and especially Piedmont was rotating around the economy coming from Fiat, so the automotive industry. This phenomena had a side effect on the region, and the side effect described by the statement, so the depopulation, so young people, especially young people, moving from small towns of Piedmont to the main cities, of course, especially Torino, changing their behaviors a lot. So becoming from agriculture, becoming people of citizen people. So people buying a car, buying a refrigerator, buying a TV, and changing basically their behaviors and their culture as citizens. This phenomena was so quick that, of course, was not totally wild, that the rural areas were completely abandoned. So we started from that situation that Nuto Revelli described very well in a trilogy of books that he published between 82 and 92, actually. And these books basically are the base of the Radice project. The second pillar of the Radice project, and you see afterwards too, is to bring basically contemporary art outside the canonical spaces of art, so museums or galleries, so to bring art to the people. What is the meaning of Radice, the word that we selected, Pit, as a logo of the project? Is a Piedmontese dialect meaning root, and this is particularly important to us because, of course, we are acting and working in a global world. Also, the meeting we're having now, me speaking in English, of course, is part of this globalization. But with our board of directors, we really decided to keep the project with its roots in Piedmont, the area we operate and we work especially with. So we picked this word, which is an ancient word, is a word that in our idea also a lot of young people of Torino, of Italian citizen people even don't understand. And so we forced them to go through this project, starting from the name, trying to understand that we do have roots, and rural areas are not places where nice to go for a weekend, or places that are nice to visit for just one day, where there is the nature. Speaking of a totally meaningless word. But places where probably our grandfathers were born, were working, were living, and where they actually were present our roots. So second other important thing that we intend this project as a midterm project. Of course, our board of directors lasting 4 years. So we intend this project from 2024 to 2027. And the aim is to, as is written, to enrich our region and the province of Cuneo of a heritage of public art and, of course, active participation that start from residents to authorities to schools and associations. One of the biggest side effects of the population that happened between the 50s, the 60s, and the 70s in Italy is also the lack of services that affected the rural areas. So schools started to close, services started to be shut down by the central government, and the projects try to, of course, we try to reflect also on this topic. What we do each year, there is a commission. We appointed a chief curator, who is Marta Papini, a young and valuable art curator in Italy. We appointed her, and she select for us a variety of possible two or three artists that she wants to work with, and we select the artist together with Fondazione CRT, and we start to create around the artist and around the work is gonna produce and his artist residency, the educational program, the public program, and usually a group exhibition made by the two collection of the two foundations, Fondazione CRT and Fondazione CRC. Again, which are the targets within the project? Reaffirming a vision of culture as a common good. In Italy, the common idea around arts, unfortunately, is that arts goes with tourism. We intend arts like big museums or big show to a way to generate an economic return made up by tickets, made up by catalogs, bookshop services, which is of course a part of the economic landscape around arts, but is not the only one. So with Radis, we do want to also to reaffirm this. Arts is part of the common background, cultural background that we do have in this fantastic country, which is Italy. We do want to promote contemporary art as a tool of participation of young people with the educational program, with also their families through the public program, and we do want to promote really a social cohesion. Also offering new opportunities to little places to reactivate places or small businesses around the installation, around the art that we install during the project. Also creating, of course, network opportunities and regenerating abandoned or little known spaces through the production again of beauty. And I think that specifically this target, we completely achieved it with the first edition of Light of the previous years of last year. You see a picture of.
To come in. I'm sorry, the time is over.
Just 1 minute.
Okay, super. Thank you so much.
So I just want to skip over the slides. You see the first installation made by Giulia Cenci last year in Chiotto Rosa. Chiotto Rosa is a place, I just finished saying that, is a place near a city of Rittana, a town of Rittana that has just 80 or 79 inhabitants. So a very small places in a rural area of Piedmont. Around the work of Giulia Cenci, as we're going to do also this year with the work of Petri Lalilage, we developed all the program that I mentioned before. And I think this was really a wonderful occasion to speak about all the things that I mentioned before. Hope you will be able one time to come over to see Rittana or to see Dogliani, the next town that we selected for this 2025.
Thank you. And we also want to know more about this next edition, Luigi. And so now over to Spain, where we're going to have a presentation by Pepe Octavio de Toledo from the Daniela Nina Carasso Foundation, Director of Socially Engaged Arts Program, as well as Frank Quiroga, who is the Director of Concomitentes, which is the program that the colleagues will be talking about. So I now see Peppa. Perfect. Okay, and you should be able to present. And also in the chat, my colleagues are sharing some links which are related to the Radis project, so you can see the videos and all of that. Over to you, Peppa.
Okay, thank you very much. It's in my interest that you all learn about two projects that are today with us, and they are going to speak in very short time after our intervention of Fran and I. And so they have the presentations and everything, and we only are going to present what is our foundation and Concomitantes, the Concomitantes project. So Carasa Foundation has the mission to finance through grants, and we have two interventions in socially engaged arts and sustainable food. We are driven by the goal of social impact and base our actions on research, experimentation, evaluation, and shared learning. And by supporting mediation and citizen participation, we build bridges between people in order to stimulate curiosity and encourage commitment. And Concomitantes is one of the best examples you can have on this matter. And we, in the foundation, we are also very interested in reaching young people. And one of the things that I can share with you is that we decided before the pandemic the board decided to consider the importance of having young people represented not only as employees, which are already quite young, not me, but the rest, most of them, and also in the projects that we support, but also in the board of trustees itself. So we do have two young people under the age of 28 that joined the board at that time. And so now with Concomitantes, I wanted to explain all our lines of programs, but I think it's better that if we take the time to speak, more profoundly about the projects. So yes, Concomitantes. I'm gonna just present Fran. We decided to open this project in Spain because it already exists in other parts in France. For instance, we were working with, because our foundation works in France and Spain, and in France they were already working with this project since, a long time ago, and we decided to put that in Spain because we see that concomitancy is very important for the future of rural areas, because he's speaking about participation through arts, and it gives the opportunity to all kind of rural areas and people, young people, or not only young, but also young people, to participate through art in their communities. And so I don't know, Fran, maybe you can explain a little bit more about what is the project itself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Pep, and thank you very much for inviting us. I'm in Chile now, and then maybe I have a problem with my network connection. The government of Chile invite us to try to know how we work, how we do the things, and I think that is important, how we do the things. Sometimes it's not only do work of art, it's how we do the things. And then we follow a protocol, as Pepa said, that the artist Francois Ayers in 1990 created this protocol to democratize the access to art. And then the idea is how citizens can become a patron. And then this is why in English is need patrons, in France is nove commanditaires, in Spain is concomitantes, but we are a network in Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, Belgium, and Cameroon too. But every node of this European network has their own rules or entity. And then we are a non-profit entity, but we get the money thanks to Daniel and Nina Carasso Foundation and the European Union through Creative Europe too. And then we do participatory artistic process. And I think that this is important if we are talking about the idea how we do the things, is we are not only sending money to local institutions, because we work with we are developing 9 artistic participatory process in Spain, thanks to Concomitantes, but we work with 9 local associations in local regions in 9 regions. And then it's important because it's not only sending money to this local association, it's how we work with them. And then it's why we are interested in following the idea of we are a philea institution. And then it's because it's not only us. We are not only doing the things, it's how we do the things with local institutions. Because thanks to this, they can spread the way of doing, they can talk with a local university, with local government, with local associations. And then thanks to these different layers, they can work with these local institutions, and then we can work with national institutions and international level. And then with local problem, it's a global problem because we are working in different layers. And then this is important because as if we are a philea institutions, it's because we are mycorrhiza institution, and then we share knowledge, we share money, and we share a way of doing things together, because at the end we are creating interdependence with local institutions with different levels. And this is important to try to talk with you now, because we are working with local projects. Ana, Jose Iglesias García Arenal can explain how they are working in local projects.
Yeah, because it's the different, well, I mean, I don't know if you say it very clear that Concomitantes helps groups of citizens to commission a piece of artwork that they consider essential for their context. So they are a group of people, no, working together to imagine how to change things, not in their local context, and they will do it through art, through commission this piece of art. And which is important in Concomitantes, I think also, is that we are not only working with the local communities, of course, but they also work in an international level, because there is this network of different countries working with Concomitantes, but also the knowledge is being shared with all of these communities from other countries. They are doing several, well, every year they have at least one symposium with the knowledge. There are all the things they've been going through, they share everything. So it's been really, really interesting for us, and for our foundation is one of our main projects, because it's the embodiment of philanthropic commitment. And so this is why we support projects through open calls launched by concomitants. And these 2 projects that we are going to hear about now are really super interesting. One of them is in Galicia, in a very, well, they will explain later, and the other one is in Extremadura. So thank you very much.
No, thanks, Pepa. And it's amazing how we started with the word cloud, with loneliness, isolation, and all of that, and now you kind of populated this image of rural areas, both Luigi, Pepa, and Fran, with all these people that come in and kind of try to build those networks. So now it's up to you to take a very difficult decision, which is you have to choose in which breakout room you will go. So you will, I hope, have a pop-up window that will appear soon in your screen, and you basically will have the chance to choose between one or the other. And then once you will enter this room, you will be able to speak with additional people that you haven't met yet, with whom you will be able to talk and dive deeper into the conversation. So hopefully the pop-up window will appear so we can make our choice. And let me also thank all of the speakers up to now for the ways in which you told these very complex stories, and I apologize for the limited amount of time. Do you see the pop-up window, or am I the only one not seeing it? No? No? Yeah, okay. It will come. Let's give it a minute. I still don't see anything. Okay.
Sorry, misunderstanding.
Okay. But so you're on it. It's the silence
Well,
is perfect. Thank you. But so maybe just let me say that if you go to the Radis room, there's Ilaria Menolashina, who is also from the same foundation of Luigi Cerutti. And then in the other one, we will have two people. There are Jose Iglesias Garcia Renal from the Non Plus Ultra and Ana More Rosende from Osconto do Leite, which is Milk Tales.
Do you see them?
We do not. I mean, at least I don't. Ah, voilà, now yes. So we see just, okay, so basically for the other ones, you now should see a list. You have to scroll down. So room one, just for indication, Ludovica, room one is the concomitante.
I'm coming. I will join.
Okay, so room one is concomitantes, I think, and room two is radis. So room one, Spain, room two, Italy. Okay, perfect. Super. So you should scroll down and choose your room, and then we will start. It's now 5 to 4. I would say that we come back in 25 minutes. Okay? Super. So I will go. Okay.
Okay, I will start maybe assigning someone to some room if you don't have preferences. Yes, I will.
Ludovica.
Sì, io vedo le options, però non mi fa... È in grigio la parte dei minuti, capito? Cioè sono le cose non modificabili. Però abbiamo iniziato comunque alle 15:55, più 30 minuti fa 16:25.
No.
Tu non le puoi vedere, mi sa, perché...
Ah no, infatti. Perché qua dice come modificare il timer automatico alle breakout rooms. Quando imposti le breakout rooms puoi spuntare l'opzione chiudi automaticamente le stanze dopo X minuti, impostare un timer. Una volta che le stanze sono attive, no, non puoi direttamente modificare il timer automatico da quel pannello.
Però in effetti qua breakout rooms close automatically non è spuntato, è solo scritto 30 minuti, ma non è spuntato, quindi forse decidiamo noi lo stesso, sai?
Puoi disattivare la chiusura automatica, non attivare il timer automatico quando crei le stanze.
Mi sa che non è attivato, perché ti mando lo screen, guarda. Vabbè, è meglio, vuol dire che le posso spendere, le posso fare io quando voglio.
Voila, thank you, Ludovica. I see people coming back. I think we were all kind of challenged with time, but I really wanted to thank all of you before handing over to Andre for the closing remarks. My feeling is that this format of the Cultural Philanthropy in Action was kind of a conversation starter of very complex kind of conversations, but it has sparked a lot of interest, also not only within the Philea membership, but also beyond, which I think is a very interesting kind of dynamic. So without making any promises, I just think that we can kind of work on that, looking at Andre, Klaus, and the Arts and Culture Funders Forum, and see what we can do to kind of delve deeper into critical questions such as impact and rural and remote areas linked to democracy. So voila, this is me, and over to you, Andre.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, what can I say? There was really a lot of information and content, and also in the breakout rooms, even more insights, even into the nitty-gritty of how you actually manage to get to the target audiences you want, and not only the ones which is available and is used to these processes. So very interesting and also exciting to hear, working with local mediators and things. So I feel actually, as Ilaria said, it's an opener. We now, after these 3 webinars, we have a much better sense of what foundations do and what they are interested. And I think in Lisbon, when we come together, we will discuss how to take that further. And there are a number of ideas already on the table. For example, now on the 3rd seminar on the local and the urban and the rural, I think it would be good to follow this up with another meeting, possibly in person, because as I said, every one of us makes mistakes. But if we connect with each other, maybe we can avoid some of these mistakes and can learn on the very nitty-gritty, but also on the big picture, and make this really a European connected program. But also on the other things we discussed before, on polarization, on community building, belonging, and also on the research and the impact. So I found this a very enriching series of seminars, and today also specifically. So I hope I see many of you in Lisbon. I hear it's overbooked. So if you haven't registered yet,
You can't.
it will be tough. You have to sneak in, maybe as a partner of someone. No, but it will be great to connect and find time in our Arts and Culture Funders Forum. And we have a special session, of course, there, but we are also on the Monday, we meet just among us. So see you there in person and taking on the discussion in this good spirit. Thank you.
Thank you to all of you for joining. We're perfectly on time. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you
Bye,
very
everybody.
much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.